Okay, so solving by substitution. So again, we're looking for the x and the y. We're going to start off with y equals negative x plus 4 and y equals 3x. So when you do substitution, you're solving for one variable to plug in to the other equation. Solve one equation from one variable to plug it into the other, right?
Yes.
But in this case, both are already solved for y. So by the transitive property, if x is equal to w and w is equal to y, x is equal to y because they're both equal to w.
Okay.
So if x is equal to w and w is equal to y, then x equals y. That is the transitive property. So since the top equation is equal to y and the bottom is equal to y, so that means they're both equal to each other. So I didn't have to solve an equation for a variable before my first step. So I need to solve negative x plus 4 equals 3x. Again, the first equation was equal to y, the second equation was equal to y, so they're equal to each other.
Sure.
So I would subtract or add x. You guys?
Mm-hmm.
So I have 4 equals 4x. So x equals 1. So I have x equals 1. Now I need to plug it back into either the top equation or the bottom equation. Which one would you like to do?
Bottom.
Bottom. So y equals 3 times x, but what is x? 1. So y equals 3. So my solution is 1, comma 3.
Okay, give me your homework.
They're not all like that.
Wow. That's pretty simple.
Okay, our next example is y equals 2x minus 10 and 2y equals x minus 8. So we need to solve for a variable. So you can pick the top, bottom, x or y. But this one, look at the first equation. It's already solved for what? Y. The first equation already says y equals 2x minus 10. So I could substitute this in for what? That y right there?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2y, but what does y equal?
2x minus 10.
So 2x minus 10 equals x minus 8. So how do I go about solving this?
2 times 2.
You distribute.
Distribute. So I have,
And then you add like terms.
so 4x minus 20 equals x minus 8. I'm subtracting x and adding 20. How about you guys?
I do negative.
So 3x. Do you guys see how I put my 20 above my 8? Does anybody know why I put my 20 above my 8 instead of below it? Because I'm subtracting and it's easier to subtract that way, right?
12 is 4.
So it'd be 12.
X equals 4, then you rewrite it.
So x equals 4. Now now it does matter which equation we put it back into. We put it back into y equals 2x minus 10. So 2 times what? 4 minus 10. Oops. So 2 times 4 is
Negative, it's
8. So it's negative
2.
2.
And
So the solution is
4, colon negative 2.
4 comma negative 2. Yes.
I can see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, snake.
Jeez, no one.
Why are you left-handed?
I don't know.
Okay, let's. Okay. The next one, am I good to move it up?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is x equals 2y minus 6 and y equals 3x minus 7.
Oh, we do opposite now.
Okay, so which one do you want to... One equation is equal to x and one equation is equal to y. So I don't need to solve anything, do I?
Not really, no.
So which one do you want? Do you want to plug in x or do you want to plug in y?
Might as well plug in that.
Which one do you prefer, Miss Meg?
Might as well
No, I'm
plug
asking
in
you. We won't mix opinion.
that. It's y equals 3.
Plug in y? So we're going to plug this in for that y, right?
Sure.
So x equals 3 times... Oh, 2 times what?
3x minus 7.
So 3x minus 7. Do I have to put parentheses around the 3x minus 7?
Yes.
Yes. And then what's minus 6? Don't forget your minus 6. So what do I do first? Distribute. So 6x minus 14 minus 6.
Add like terms.
Yep. So this is negative 20, right? So I'm going to subtract x and add 20.
I just it's gonna be negative 4.
So 20 equals 5x. I got positive 4.
Oh, I forgot to take off the negative. Oh,
X equals 4. So now I have to plug it in to which one? The top or the bottom equation? The bottom. So y equals 3 times 4 minus 7. So 12 minus 7 is 5. So my solution is 4 comma 5. What's wrong, Kine?
You're working way too fast.
So then you have to say something. No, you didn't. You've huffed and puffed.
I did though.
Did I acknowledge it? Did I hear it?
No, but now you are. Here's about points there.
Okay, I'm not taking that from Miss Smith.
Lion.
I'd put him in retirement home.
Oz.
Take all your
Please.
money.
Right now.
They're senile.
Yep.
You know who else is senile?
Okay.
Bobby Rock.
Okay, gentlemen.
Yep.
Okay, Cayenne, am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing different scenarios out at you, so you have to think. Okay, so we have to figure out top or bottom equation, x or y.
Top
Well, it's either one. They both take the same.
to the top one.
I'd pick not the top, I'd pick the bottom one for x.
Oh, do bottom.
Then bottom one.
Why would I pick the bottom one for x?
Because you're smart.
What's the coefficient on the x already?
1.
1. I mean, it's negative 1, but it's still 1, yes?
Sure.
And so I won't get any fractions for sure. Yeah, you would.
No.
Yeah,
No.
you would.
No.
Okay, so I have negative x minus 6y equals 7. So add the x, subtract the 7, right?
Hmm?
Add the x and subtract the 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I get negative 7 minus 6y equals x. And I added the x, so I have a positive x. It has to be positive, doesn't it?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Just easy to look
Yeah.
at it.
Okay, so now I have this. So this was the second equation. I have to put it into the what?
Well,
First.
Oh.
This was the second, so I have to put it into the first. So I have 6x, but what is x now?
Negative 7 minus 6y.
Negative 7 minus 6y minus 4y equals
18.
18. So I have to distribute. So negative 42 minus 36y
Yeah.
minus 4y
Yeah.
equals 18.
So leave 32.
They're both negative, so I'd add them. So negative 42 minus 40y.
You have to add the 42.
So I add the 42 over.
Then you get 60.
So I have 40y equals 60.
Negative 41.
Oh, negative. So divide by negative 40.
Oh.
And I get y equals negative 3 over 2. So we have a fraction, don't we? Okay. So it doesn't mean we aren't going to have fractions, but we don't want to have to work with them at the beginning, do we?
Yeah.
So this is y, right here. And we have an equation set up already to solve for x. That's why I moved to the side over here. So I'm going to take this and plug it in right there. So I have negative 7 minus 6 times what?
3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2.
Negative 3 over 2 equals x.
Yeah.
Now this is 6 over 1, correct? Okay. So I have negative 7. And a negative times a negative is a positive.
18 over 2.
Well, how about we reduce 2 into 6?
3.
So 3 times 3 is
9.
9 equals x.
Yep.
So it's 2 equals x.
So x equals 2.
So 2 negative 2.
Now, there's nothing to say that you won't get a fraction and you have to get common denominators and all that. But you're going to try to avoid the fractions if all possible, right?
It's pretty.
Okay. We're going to do one more. And then I'll let you get on your worksheet.
There's a worksheet.
Yes, there's a
Yeah,
worksheet.
dum-dum.
That's a worksheet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you repeat it to me?
Good. Well,
Okay. We'll go with hard. We'll like hard.
you cannot go any harder.
7y equals negative 2x plus 5
You're too scared to go harder.
over 3, not over, but 3x plus 10y
You're just doing
equals 6.
That's
So, like we said before, we want to go to the one that has, like, if there was a 1 as the leading coefficient or it was already solved for, that's what we choose. But do we have 1 as the leading coefficient?
No.
No.
So what do we do?
Mason, what are you doing? Are you doing anything?
No.
Don't know if that's a good choice. Okay, so what do you guys want to solve for? Because I don't think we're going to, like,
For x.
which equation and which variable?
X.
Bottom x.
Bottom x.
Bottom x?
Yes.
Y'all good with bottom x?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 3x plus 10y equals 6. So I have to subtract the 10y over.
Yes.
So 3x equals 6 minus 10y.
Yep.
And then I have to divide everything by 3. So x equals 2
X equals 2.
minus
1/3 on
10/3 y.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this was the second equation, so we have to plug it back into the top. So we have 7y equals negative 2 times, what's x now?
Oh, 2.
2 minus 10 over 3y.
plus 5.
Yep.
So I have to distribute, right?
7y equals -4.
So 7y equals -4, and a negative times a negative would be a
Positive.
positive. And there's a 1, but 2 and 3 don't reduce, do they?
It's
No.
20 over.
So it's going to be 20 over 3. What's 1 times 3? 3. Y plus 5.
Then you add like terms.
Add like terms.
So the other one,
So this would be 1.
7y.
And so I have 7y equals 1 plus 20 over 3.
Y.
So now I have to subtract the 20 over 3?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
3 over 20.
No,
Yeah, you have to do
that's multiplying.
multiplication.
That's no, we're subtracting.
I just said, well, yeah, that's multiplication.
Oh, okay. So this is 7 over 1. So what's our common denominator going to be?
3.
3?
Yeah.
So it would be 3 over
21.
21. So 21 minus 20 would be
1 over 3.
1 over 3. Y equals
1.
1.
Divide that by 1/3.
Well, I would divide it by 1/3 or multiply it by
Reciprocal.
3 over 1.
Negative 1.
So this is 1
Y equals 3.
and y equals 3.
So now you go back up.
Now you go back over here.
And you plug it in.
So we have x equals 2 minus 10 over 3 times 3 over
1.
1.
And you 10, the 3's reduced.
The 3's reduce, and I'm left with just
-10,
2 minus 10.
which is -8.
Oh my god.
Okay, so some of them, are they going to be longer?
Yes.
Yes. Do you just need to take your time to go through them?
No, that's just too long.
Yes.
Illumination.
They're not hard.
Now, I don't know where to put the worksheet.
You just brought them in, are they on top
I
of
know.
the podium?
Are they on top of that book right there?
No, that's
Oh.
your 12 questions. Right here.
The rest of it.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Is there anything like that on that paper?
Happy.
Okay, there is no, all of your answers will be whole numbers. So we had to work with fractions, but we still got whole number answer, didn't we?
Yeah.
So all of your answers will be whole numbers.
It actually
Before I give you your worksheet, I want to talk about what would make it a no solution.
They come out to 0.
Yeah, they cancel out to 0
They
points.
cancel out to both and they come to 0.
Well, no solution would be like 7 equaled 8. Does 7 equal 8?
No.
No, because there's no variable, is there?
No.
So that would be a no solution.
Okay.
Okay. An infinitely many solution.
No, it's dangerous.
They equal the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could get 0 equals 0 with no variable, or you could get 7 equals 7.
Mayor Livingston, please report back to class. Mayor Livingston, please report back to class.
So when they equal the same thing with no variable, that's infinitely many solution. So on your worksheet, you have one no solution and you have one infinitely many solution. And so that there's 10 problems. And I do apologize, guys. There's not, what are these missing? They're missing this. Without that, it technically isn't a system. I don't understand why the worksheet program that I use to make these doesn't put that in there. And I don't know why. Because without it, it's just two random equations. So if you would please add these on here, it's really not that hard. It'd be nice. I don't know if you're going to have enough room on here. Some you might, others you might
I
not.
got a question.
You do have a back.
You said we're not
How
gonna
many
have any
questions
full
are
numbers,
there?
but yet we did one with a
No,
fraction.